Are we on mute again?
I don't think so.
Oh,
There we go. I was trying to tell you, yeah, I'll turn it back on in a second, and well,
Couldn't hear you.
I had you muted, so you couldn't hear me.
Okay. Perfect, you did it.
It is now 6:32. We will commence the meeting for the local area recreation and park district. Mrs. Johnson, can you please look up?
B2. Place your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to the
flag
of the
United States of America
and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
for which it
republic
stands,
one
one
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
and
liberty and
liberty and
justice for all.
all.
Can you get roll call, please?
Bob, do you want to make the motion now, or explain what we need to do?
Yeah, we should do it before you take roll call. Members, as you've noticed, member Byrne is here via video conferencing tonight. We were contacted yesterday and advised that as a result of a medical condition, that is the only way she's able to attend tonight. And under your policy, that a member can attend by video conference, provided a majority vote is taken in favor of that. Before a majority vote can be taken, however, that's not on the agenda. So there would have to be an additional item, which I can walk you through. And I don't think it's a big deal, but it has to be done to dot our I's and cross our T's. And that would be a motion to find that there is a need for immediate action and that the need for action arose subsequent to the posting of the agenda. And if you're able to make that motion and have it passed, then a motion to permit member Byrne to participate via video conferencing tonight. So those are two motions that should be taken right off the bat before you even take attendance. The first would be a motion to determine that the need for action is immediate and arose subsequent to the posting of the agenda. And I believe both of those are true because without the need action, you would have a board member that couldn't participate in a board meeting, and the need for that action arose yesterday.
I so move.
A second.
And this will, going forward tonight, every motion will need to be a roll call.
We need to do separate. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
And you four, I think, vote on this, not Rebecca. I think.
Correct.
Okay, so Kim Jones Johnson,
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Legion.
Yes.
Motion so passes 4-0.
Okay, and then the next motion would be a motion to authorize, to determine that there is an emergency circumstance and authorize member Byrne to participate by video conferencing tonight.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call. Kim Cheryl Johnson. Aye. Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Leisure.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and now proceed with roll call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call. Division 1, Kim Cheryl Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Rebecca Adorte Byrne.
Here,
Division 4, Edgar Castellan.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisure.
Here.
We do have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any presentations or recognitions today?
None this evening, Mr. President.
How about public comments?
No, I've not received any.
Consent calendar, would anyone like to remove anything from the consent calendar? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
Okay.
Kim Cheryl Johnson. Aye. Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Leisure.
Yes.
Rebecca Adorte Byrne.
yes,
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. On to board action items 5.1. Purchase of new arena panels for Rick Thompson Arenas. The Blairmore Park and Bellsport Arena.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. As the board is aware, this is a discussion item we've talked about for a little bit here. The panels at all of these arenas, Rick Thompson, there's two arenas there. Felspar, one arena, and Larimore has 2 arenas, are all in need of repair. The Felspar is a wooden arena, while the other ones are a metal frame. They are rusting out and are frankly a liability at this point. The wooden one at Felspar has been damaged over the years, repaired, fixed, but it is the entire thing is beginning to deteriorate as well. So this is as good a time as any to update it as well. When we built Horseshoe Lake Park, we found a product there made by Red River Arenas that we really thought met our needs very well. Very sturdy construction, secure yet easy to set up. The gate mechanisms are very high quality, not small latches or anything like that tend to break. We've had no issues with the arena out there in the 4 years that it's been opened. So staff is recommending the purchase of all the arena panels from Red River Arena. They're actually on sale right now, saving about 10%, which is nice. We did price out other products just to make sure. This was still the best bang for our buck. It's hard, it's hard to compare, exact apples to exact when we're looking at these types of custom products here. We also recently purchased the temporary arena for Rick Thompson Arena from Red River Arenas. In doing so, we would have the same product in all the facilities, and we're gonna have extra panels. So should something be damaged by a horse, or heaven forbid, a vehicular accident or something like at Felspar, we would have replacement panels. This company's been in business for 50 some years. Replacement panels are going to be available in the future going forward. With that, they'll be installed through our landscape maintenance contract as part of the maintenance agreement we've already bid. We will be doing one arena at a time just to keep them open. And at the same point, we will be amending the soil as needed in each of the arenas, repairing irrigation systems that are associated with the arenas. Felspar obviously doesn't have any irrigation because there's no water on site. Just doing much needed upgrades to those arenas across the district. So with that, be available for any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah,
Ms. Johnson?
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have 2 questions. One is that the small arena at Larimore is egg-shaped currently. And I know we asked the community there about turning it into a round, and they said no.
Correct.
But does the number of panels we're buying for that do anything to correct the egg shape?
It will correct it as available. As you may be aware, that's not a perfect corner right there either, and that's kind of why it's egg shaped there. But we'll have enough panels to rounded out, I guess, would be
The narrower end?
the narrower end, which would be closer to the restroom facility, yes. So we purchased it, essentially an oval shaped arena
Okay,
for it, yes.
okay. And then the question I have about Felspar. What is the current state of our agreement with the school district about that facility?
As per length,
Everything.
it was a 100-year lease. So they have no foreseeable plans for building on that property. I've had this discussion with a number of their superintendents at the school district. The current plan, as we're all aware, there's been declining enrollment within the school districts. If there were to be an expansion at Pedley Elementary School, their current train of thought is to go vertical rather than horizontal. Has to do with security reasons, keeping the kids closer together. It's more cost effective for them. So they don't have any plans to expand the school out into that area.
And then you said something that brought up another question to my mind. You said something about if the arena were to be damaged by cars at the corner there. So has that been an issue?
Somehow a vehicle hit it at one point, yes.
Just one time?
Just one time to my knowledge, yes. It had to go away. We think it was deliberate. Just kind of swiped and took out one post and a couple of pickets.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's something we should be doing that would prevent that from happening.
We could discuss it with the school district. I don't know what we would cost effectively be able to do.
Balance?
They would have to be fairly significant to stop a vehicle,
Okay.
but it's something we can explore. We have had some discussions about the possibility of some form of additional recreation amenities within that parcel. The school district seemed open to discussion when we had those preliminary talks. I think they're trying to get a good handle on what is going on with development in the area right now before they wanted to proceed.
Well, my question was answered when you talked about the school district. That was my question.
And I have confirmed with them, they have no concerns with us updating the arena.
So when you say 100-year lease, but they could end it at any time.
There's I think it's a 90-day termination clause in it, but yes, we could as well.
So then do we take our arena and go home or what?
We would take our arena and go, yes.
Any questions?
No,
Real
and then, yes, actually, does the landscape company take care of the disposal of the old arena as well?
We will take care of that. We'll recycle it.
Yeah.
And my question, what would be the timeline to?
The assumption would be we'll place the order tomorrow. Because they're holding their special open for us. Take a little bit longer to get this one just because of it's like 300 panels, I want to say they don't have that many in stock. And it'll all ship at one time. So probably 6 weeks, he said, before it gets delivered. And then they're gonna start on it right away and we'll just go one at a time. It shouldn't be too hard to get up. Most of them are smaller. The large one here at Rick Thompson will take the longest. We'll probably start on the round arena here at the warm-up area as our first one, just to work out any bugs or kinks and go from there. A day or two, probably, maybe 3 in each one, just with grading, depending on what we have to do for soil amendment.
There's no cement footings then?
No, these are driven with heavy gauge steel post. Yeah, we opted to add that to it. It's not required. We did that with the horseshoe arena as well. It goes in the ground about 3 feet. It's not going anywhere. And it will come through and weld all the tack weld all the nuts and stuff. So
The lifespan, expected lifespan of these arenas.
25 years. Yeah, so we've gotten probably 30 to 40 out of the existing ones from what I can tell.
Any further questions?
No question.
I move the board of directors accept the quote from Red River Arenas for $91,833.30.
I'll second.
I second, I'm sorry.
Roll call, please.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Edgar Castellan,
Yes.
Ross Leisure,
Yes,
Rebecca Redoorte Byrne.
Yes,
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. On to item 5.2, discussion and possible acceptance of quote for landscape improvements at Lane Avon Heritage Park. Mr. Wood.
Yes, this project is for the streetscape improvements along Lady One Heritage, along Mission Boulevard there. The landscape there is definitely in need of, I'm sorry?
There is none.
There is none, yeah. I try to be nice. What is there is very sparse. It's been something we've talked about for a while, and now with the new shopping center there just to the west of it, it is even more noticeable. Excel Landscape is our landscape maintenance service provider, provided us with a quote for the installation of, let me pull it up here again, a total of, what are we talking about? 375-ish plants, totaling about 12,000 square feet of area that we're looking at. And then the remaining area and in between will be blown in with mulch. So, this project would take them, about a week to complete, is what they've said from start to finish, so. Would that be available for any questions?
Is the city taking out the existing trees?
They've been trimmed up, but we are working on getting it removed.
By who?
It will be the city.
Okay.
What we've asked. We're asking, so
there's no curb there.
there is no curb and
So
gutter.
would they continue to build down Mission? I think they're supposed to put the hotel right there between the Target and our park. Are we planning on trying to put curb and gutter there in the future?
I
Or
think that'll be a discussion we have with the city. Hopefully we can work with the city and potential like some sort of safe routes to school grant or something, because of the high school so close there. To complete that section of the sidewalk. We also have, if you pull into the driveway, the park is to the left. To the right is what was the old home that we have now. We need to do something with that property as well. We actually had a discussion at staff meeting today regards to that. So I think those two things would go hand in hand together.
okay, just curious for all the landscaping in. We have to tear some out to put in curb and gutter.
Yeah, I don't think that any of the landscape would be, that we're looking at would be, it's the,
Would stay
Yeah.
right close to, okay.
It's not going all the way out to the pavement. It's
it's
just
going out to the fence, not to the street. That is between the asphalt and the wrought iron fence, that's city road right away.
So we're not doing it there.
We're doing it from the fence. Let me pull up
I thought we were doing it outside the fence.
No.
Cause
That's
that's,
kind of what I was thinking.
That's the-
right?
it's inside the fence.
Yeah,
No, that's not our land.
well, I have
Hmm.
a right of way in the front of my house as well, and it's not dirt, it's landscaped by me.
So we are talking. Sorry, guys, this mouse is being temperamental.
I'm having a hard time understanding how this is gonna make the streetscape look better.
yeah, now that you say it's not gonna be forward of the fence. Curious of that as well.
You're talking about that slope there.
This
That's-
slope, that is,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
this slope is what's being planted.
Okay, so
that is-
anything the city does with sidewalk or curb and gutter and or it's done in the future won't affect that.
Correct.
Okay,
It's this slope that has nothing on it that
gotcha.
is being repaired. All of our irrigation with inside the fence has been updated, repaired, and is operational. This is not Park District property right here. Actually, when I drove by today to look at it a little bit, there was a 18-wheeler parked there. I believe Director Johnson was asking about these trees,
Yes.
if they have been significantly trimmed up and pruned back, but
We have
they
regressed.
are causing damage to our fence right in here, so we are looking to have them removed as possible.
Generally speaking, I would think this property would be the same, is that our property line is actually the center line of the road.
But yes, I would have to verify that, but this is in road right away. If we landscaped that, it would just be destroyed within the first.
I
Yeah.
don't. It isn't so much that it's in road right of way, it's that there's no curb and gutter there and people can drive up on it, and so that's really the problem.
You can't really tell, there's no curb and gutter anywhere along this section of road to see where it would line up, but if you stand back and you look where the new lines are down by where the target's going in, there will be room for curb, gutter, sidewalk, and 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, and I know that they are planning on developing that plot of land between where the target is. And
There's been a number of different proposals that have come through. It's,
My only issue with this is the use of yellow lantana or lantana in general. It's not native, it's invasive actually to some degree. I would suggest some like ceanothus.
so I did reach out after our conversation today. Their concern with the Cianota is it doesn't do well specifically right here. It doesn't have a long lifespan. We've actually had some problems with it in some of our other, over like Serrano Ranch and Streetscape there. It's all died off. There's a number of different products or different plant material that they recommended. The reality is they're all basically the same price. So we can choose from a number of different ones. Some of their recommendations was like a California lily, white rose, or carpenter rose, some wisteria. What else? We're already doing Little John's, maybe even some lilac. So if that's the board, we can switch out the yellow lantana or golden lantana for a couple different plant materials to get a variety of color. A number of those we do have out here in front of the building as well. But kind of their intention was to somewhat match the landscaping going in at the new shopping center. They also have a lot of fox brush or bottle brush going in there as well. A lot of Little Johns, and there is a decent amount of lantana. So
So is it any lantana that is slightly invasive or just
It's,
that one specifically?
no, it's all lantana basically. It naturalizes the area.
Oh.
So, yeah, it doesn't leave room for other species, native species to propagate.
Doesn't matter to me as long as it's something that, I was looking it up and I think this lantana grows to be about 3 feet around.
if you had been here 2 days ago, we have some lantana around this property, but right back here by this driveway, it was so tall and they trimmed it back down. But yeah, it can grow to be.
Well, I meant 3 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would just want to replace, I don't care if what we replace it with, but that it would be something that would grow in a similar size, just so it would cover. Because I did the math, and if the lantana, so let's say each lantana bush covers about 9 square feet, still only 2,000 and something square feet in a 12,000 square foot area. So it wasn't gonna cover, so
No.
I wouldn't want to replace it with something that's only gonna cover 2 square feet or 1 square foot. That would be my only thing. But wisteria, really?
I was just looking for some California native options.
Right.
So
The problem. I'm not against using California natives, but realistically, this isn't we're not propagating a hillside or it's not that natural. It's never gonna be a natural.
This is our opportunity to probably.
Make it more natural, is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Yeah, natives just can be somewhat labor intensive sometimes. They get woody.
Temperamental.
And that's one of the reasons that they also chose the Lantana for ease of maintenance, but I'm fine with any of it. Anything's gonna look better than what we have now. I think any of those opportunities out there look good. If you look on your way out, we have a wide variety of stuff. We've been here. We did the landscape here about 4 years ago now. And you look how it's grown, not just the Lantana, but everything is fairly significant in size. So
I'm fine if we don't use Lantana, it doesn't matter to me.
the board's fine with the dollar amount, and we can work with
Yes.
and we can put in a variety of, okay.
I don't think we need to match what the people way down on the corner did. I don't think that matters. Really.
And I'm okay if it's up to staff's discretion, doesn't need to come back to the board.
I feel a little hesitation on the wisteria.
It's just a little puzzle.
Trails.
It's smaller, yeah.
Mrs. Byrne, any comments?
No comments, but it was interesting. I know nothing about plants and the like, so I go with the majority.
Thank you.
I move the board of directors accept the quote for landscape improvements at Glenhaven Heritage Park in the amount of $21,986 from Excel Landscape and authorize the general manager to sign all documents.
Second,
Begin roll call. Kim Chow Johnson. Aye. Jose Luis Fudinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellanos. Ross Latham.
Yes.
Rebecca Redoorte Byrne.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. On to 5.3, discussion and possible action regarding employee benefits for 2025. Mr. DeWitt.
So I'm actually gonna turn this over to Ms. Fogus. She has done all the legwork on this one.
Every year we do everything we can to find the best coverage in medical, dental, vision, and life insurance coverage we can for our staff. And we definitely want to retain staff as much as possible, and we do want to get the most robust plan that we can. And yet, at the same time, make it cost effective for the district. We now have 25 full-time employees. That's the most full-time employees we've had since I've been here. And it's exciting to see the full-time staff grow. So we just need to make sure that we are offering a variety of choices for them. So at the request of the board last year, they did ask us to check bound other than Viva, who we've used since before I've been here, so more than 10 years, to actually provide us as our insurance coverage, the choices that we've selected from. So we did reach out to a company that, I remember Margie Horton used to be one of our reps as well, and she worked for a larger company that did different types of insurances. And Paul Strain works for that company as well. And so he did a complete analysis of all the insurance companies in Southern California that meet our criteria, what we're looking for, small group, and a variety of choices. And after comparing the prices that they had, he could find in our local area that has services local to our staff. He determined that the coverage we're getting, the pricing and the actual benefit is better with Viva because it was going to cost us more than have less coverage. So we went back to Viva, and that's where we're at. So we did look at the renewal cost there. There was a slight increase. I do budget for 10%. Fortunately, it was less than that this year. So our medical will be going up. We do offer two different plans, a Kaiser plan and a United Healthcare plan. And we do have one individual staff that has chosen to go with the United Healthcare starting in January. And everyone else has chosen to renew with Kaiser. So once a year, when we have our open enrollment, we present all the options to them. We have representatives come in to speak to the staff, answer questions that we may not have the answer to. Make sure they're getting the best opportunity to ask questions. So we do have a 6.6% increase on the Kaiser premium and a 6.4% increase on the United Healthcare. So the premiums are very similar and the coverage is very similar as well. It's just personal choice. What's best for the individuals, as well as their dependents for those who choose dependent coverage. And on our our vision insurance, we use VSP, and there was no change in premium. They were able to roll the same premium over for the year beginning 2025. So that was exciting to hear. And then our dental, we haven't gotten the final numbers in, but they're not expecting as much of an increase as before. But I had an email out to our representative through Humana, which is not through Vida, and we have not got the hard numbers yet. They said it's gonna be closer to November before I know those numbers, but it'll be within the same realm. And if it is more than 2%, we'll definitely bring that for consideration. Our life insurance, we are a guaranteed plan. We cover our employees up to $25,000 per year. And that we are on a guaranteed rate until December 31st of 2025. So it's basically $8 a person per month, very reasonable. And this is also actually was recommended to us through the Viva program. They have contacts there. Minnesota Mutual is actually the carrier, which is nice. And on the life insurance, they have the option also of adding dependents, and any dependent coverage is paid 100% by the employee through payroll deduction. That makes it very convenient. So if anyone has any questions about the different coverages we offer or what's involved in those, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
One thing I wanted to point out in regards to the medical benefit here, I pulled it up here in regards to rates. If you look down at the bottom block here, the individual Kaiser rate is a little higher than the United Healthcare rate. But when you add the second family member to it, they basically are within like $4 of each other at that point. So as Loretta said, it comes down to a preference thing. Their coverages are very similar. We provided everything that's included with our coverages here for you. That was a request from the board last year as well, as to what isn't covered within the packages, and we can go through that if you want, but it's quite detailed. But I think we'd be available if you have any questions this morning.
Any questions?
Yes, I'm trying to remember, but did we speak in terms of trying to, I think we said we're a small group and therefore maybe not get as much advantage on a pricing. Did we not speak that maybe joining another group, whether that was possible to affect the pricing in terms for our employees?
Yes, in July of this year, 2024, I did go out for a large inquiry with another insurance firm that is a broker, because I, as an individual, cannot quote insurances. And you have to be specially licensed in the state of California to do that. So I did contact another firm that we are familiar with. They're located in Ontario. They're local to us, Inland Empire. And they did a complete analysis. I provided them the age of our employees, their like 6 things, all the demographics required to give a apples to apples comparison. And he did investigate several insurances, not only the Inland Empire, but the surrounding area for Inland Empire, just to make sure that we are getting the best bang for our buck. And we were able to actually, through his recommendation, stay with Viva because of the cost efficiency that we can get through a much larger group that were included with them in comparison to the actual services that is being offered. He could not match it. And he was very honest. I mean, this is money in his pocket. So of course, if he of course would love to have the business, but he was very honest with us because he's a very reputable client or company. And we were able to actually make that decision with his recommendation to stay with Viva.
Well,
We've also compared the rates that would be available to us through PERS, through their medical, and they are significantly higher.
Yeah. 20% more.
Thank you for that research.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman.
Mhm.
I'm really glad that we're offering 2 different plans now. Just so that people have an option, because I think it's unpleasant to say you will have Kaiser and you will have Kaiser alone and we offer nothing else. But I think there was, when you brought that on, I think there was a misunderstanding as to what I was hoping for. And what I was hoping for is not that we would find another plan that was exactly the same as Kaiser that we already have. But that's it. Gold plan or a platinum plan or just a fantastic plan. I don't know what it is. What I was wondering is, did Viva offer plans that were less expensive so that our employees had the option of saying, you know what, I would like less coverage because then I can afford to cover my spouse or I can afford to cover my child. And it was like, I thought I said that, but that's not what happened. So I'm glad we have United Healthcare at the same platinum level that we offer the Kaiser, but maybe there would be employees who had a spouse or a child they needed to cover, and they would rather have less coverage or a higher deductible in order to be able to afford the coverage, because they can't afford another $700 and something a month to cover that spouse or that child. But if the plan was $450 a month, less coverage, I fully admit it, but then they could
With
afford it.
the understanding their copays would be higher. They're taking the gamble.
Yes, but we're not even offering them that. And I just think that at the level of the cost right now, very few of our employees are gonna put their spouse or their child on this plan, because they're not gonna spend another $700 and something, almost $800 a month.
We do have a handful that do.
Yes, of course. I know we have some.
Well, I mean, what is that
But it's
person?
not maintenance one.
I think I very much understand what you're saying. And would we know that that'd be the case in any form? I mean, I don't know in asking them directly, but is it a fact that most are just covering for themselves as opposed to having any dependents? I mean, would that kind of tells what you're talking about, Kim?
Well, I just know, like when I've worked for other governmental agencies, there was usually options, and one option might be this fantastic plan that would cover you from head to toe for absolutely any hospital in America, but it would be very costly to put your family on it. Or you could go with a less expensive HMO, and then, you just take the chances, like you said, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying this has to be done with this today, but that is kind of what I was trying to get to when we went with the United Healthcare, and then that's.
I know you made the comment last year too, that like some people their aunt died at Kaiser and they just refused to go to Kaiser. So we wanted to give an option
Yes,
as well.
yes,
And
but you see what I mean?
No, I understand exactly what you're saying
Because
here.
that's kind of constant talk about,
No,
oh, we can't cover
my-
family, we can't cover.
My memory has been jarred. I think some of this we rolled into the discussion of, for numbers' sake, there was another plan, a third option, fourth option, whatever. We think we can potentially add that to our plan. And just say it was $450 for the employee, like you said. Would the board's intention to take the difference and allow them to apply it towards a family medical? I think that's where we kind of got stuck last year.
Well, I mean, first of all.
We're almost moving towards a cafeteria type system that I don't think anybody was against.
Like, no,
Yeah.
but I mean, right now, I don't even know.
Yes.
We have not been told if Viva has plans like that.
Okay.
So I guess that would be the first question. Does Viva have more plans than just these two that we see here?
I can look into that.
And then,
Is there HMOs, correct?
yes,
They're both agents.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that don't utilize their insurance much, prefer to have a PPO because it really is less out of their pocket unless they use it. I mean, obviously, but.
Yeah.
But
My
gives them
assumption
the
would be-
option of a smaller monthly, and most places that I've ever worked give you the option of whether you have an HMO or a PPO. Heck, even my Medicare offered me that difference. So, my Medicare Advantage plan offered me the difference between the two.
Yeah, I've experienced exactly what you're speaking to.
Yeah, so I know that a PPO is definitely more expensive if you utilize it, but you have less expenses if you don't utilize it. So I know it's a good option for some people.
I'm just wondering if that's something the rest of the board would like to look at. It's not just me making this decision, only because we talk all the time about how we don't cover any family members and how that is an issue. Well, it's an issue because we insist on only offering this plan, this really great plan, but maybe some people don't want the really great plan. They just want the plan that will cover them and their kid.
No, I agree with you, Kim.
Will exploring those options stop employees from using this? Or
No.
can we tag that on?
I can find out if it's too late in the season to tag that on. Otherwise, it'll be next.
That's fine. That's
I'm clear as to what
okay.
we're talking.
I seem to recall last time too, we also talked about an HSA, a health savings account.
Yes, we've investigated that as well. And we actually polled our staff, and we did not have one person interested in that. We explained it thoroughly what it was, and we didn't have anyone interested.
As long as it was offered, I'm fine with that.
So I do want to make it clear, I'm very glad we're offering two options. But I do think there needs to be
A third. or
even
something.
more options so that in the hopes of helping to rectify this problem we have that will cover you, but the rest of your family, too bad.
I agree, Kim.
And maybe that helps with that issue. I mean, it won't ever be $47 a month probably, but you know.
And I don't think 450 is even reasonable.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but I just would like to understand the full range of what Viva has that we could use. Maybe there's not a lot more. I don't know.
Would you be comfortable approving with what we have with the request to bring back any additional offer
Yes,
when they're available?
yes.
Okay.
All right.
I agree.
I move the board of directors accept the new rates for calendar year 2025 as submitted and authorize the general manager to sign all documents.
I second.
Okay, and roll call, yes. Kim Gerald Johnson.
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Eric Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Latham.
Yes,
Rebecca Widorte Byrne.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. On to 6.1, general manager's report, Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, thank you. A couple quick updates for you. Herb Community Site construction is going well. We're starting to get some plumbing in the ground. We've got a couple change orders that we're gonna be anticipating. I think I mentioned last time the sewer wasn't as deep as it needed to be for current standards to get the proper flow and stuff. So we're anticipating a change order coming for that. Other than that, all the rot that we talked about a couple weeks ago has been addressed, removed and replaced. Most of the plywood started going back up today, and they said they'll have finished wrapping the building with the plywood hopefully tomorrow, if not early Monday. New walls will start going up next week inside. They'll be cutting the new doorways into the block, things along those lines. So we're starting we've kind of hit the bottom of the demolition portion of the project. They want to get the inside well underway. But we had our meeting today. They definitely have the eye on getting the parking lot going here. One of the things they've discovered in the excavation of the sewer line out front of the building, the old planter area, we have a very high clay content within our soil. And so the contractors worry if we get any rain, it could delay the paving projects just because of the drying out of the facility and stuff. So that's something we're working on, but the project is moving very smoothly so far. Everything else considered. Veterans Memorial Wall the architect and their team were out at site yesterday with our maintenance department going through irrigation systems. So we know what needs to move, rerouted, whatever, and they'll be back again on Monday to complete that. We should have some final drawings coming to us early November, it looks like. So we can approve those and we can start our bid process, advertising and stuff. The bids will be first part of the year, but we're still on our timeline for construction being completed right before Armed Forces Day. So that's proceeding well as also. Excuse me. Want to remind everybody, Spooktacular is coming up here on the 26th. Thank you. At Rancho Cucamonga Regional Soccer Park. And also I sent you all an email, Big Bounce America, which would have been last weekend. And this coming weekend had to postpone because of the heat. Would have been 105 degrees that day and wasn't going to be a good mix with people jumping in essentially a giant plastic house. So they've asked to go the 25th, 26th, and 27th. We spoke with them. They had all previously advertised their last session of the day from 3 to 6 p.m. was adults only. And staff felt if they would commit to keeping it that way, it would not conflict with the Spooktacular, and they had agreed. So we've authorized them to move to that same weekend. But we are excited to have them coming back in. Other than that, youth basketball registration is going right now, and Alex informed us today at our staff meeting that registration is actually ahead of schedule. You know, we typically have a lot of people waiting till the end of the program or the end of registration, the last week or so to register. And we've got more people registered at this point within registration than we had in the past. So that's very positive to hear. And I believe I mentioned last week or previously our Spark After School program. We're at 140 kids in the program. We're at 143. A majority of them, about 132, are funded through a grant through the school district. Crystal and Zena have worked very hard with the school district to establish a set number. Because we were having to do a very cumbersome process in the past where they would have to pre-register, essentially pay, then we were processing a bunch of refunds, which was just not fun for anybody. So they've worked hard with the school, Corona North Unified School District, to get that set up. So moving forward, it'll be a much smoother process for everybody. And the last thing I just wanted to share, I think you're all aware, I keep a lot of numbers and statistics on our, primarily, especially our recreation programs. But our first quarter this year, July, August, September, our total recreation revenue, the same period last year was the highest quarter we'd ever had. And we just exceeded that by another $50,000 in revenue in comparison. So our programs are doing phenomenal. A big chunk of that is because of the Spark program. Not gonna, hide any of it, but that's still phenomenal for what we're doing. So our staff is doing a great job. The brochure is obviously a big key for that, helping promote those programs. So very proud of what the staff's doing.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, on to board comments. We'll start with Mrs. Johnson.
Really looking forward to Spooktacular. That's always a fun event every year. And all of our fall and winter programs that are coming up. This turns into a really busy time of year for us, and I'm looking forward to fall.
Thank you. Mr. Gudins?
Yes, I'm also looking forward to Spooktacular. I want to thank staff for their hard work, and I want to thank our board, my fellow board members for, being flexible now that I'm going to school and making it just on time to the meetings.
Thank you. Mrs. Byrne?
Well, I too, with my grandsons, they've already marked it on the calendar. So whether I'm able to go with them or not, they will be there. So thank you, and thank you, the staff, as you made mention, for their hard work of really giving the kids a good time. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Leja?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Spectacular. If you could ask staff about this time, do it for the costume contest.
I already talked about
Good
it, Barry.
numbers, no, good numbers.
Oh, numbers.
I think it might be beneficial to the judges.
We had confusion last year, remember, about who was winning and who wasn't because
Too many pumpkins or whatever.
else's or whatever.
Yeah, I just thought, you might suggest that to staff. The other thing I'd like to say is, this last weekend was Food Fest, and I'm not going to sit here and talk about Food Fest as much as I was there all day Friday for the setup and all day Saturday for the event. And I would very much like to compliment our staff at that event on both days. They were so helpful and attentive and just did everything right to accommodate the event. I wanted to make sure that they were thanked properly for that. And that's it.
Thank you. As for me, good to be back. I was gone at the last meeting. But glad to get into the swing of things as we hit fall events. So looking forward to Spectacular. Hope to catch the Big Bounce America event. But most of all, looking forward to this heat. Exciting. So.
Amen.
Don't like the heat, huh? I don't know why.
So, yeah, it's pretty much it. And again, thank you all, also staff, for all the work you all have put on.
Thank you.
That's it for me. Do we have any community reports?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Leja has an agency. Thank you.
Okay. Very, very quickly, this was from the September 27th interagency meeting. Couple of notes: CAL FIRE serviced 1,155 calls last month with an average response time 4.5 minutes. So great for them. The JCSD is upgrading their website, supposed to be a lot more user friendly. And their first hell hydrant is operational, and there's supposedly a nice video of it on the website. I haven't looked at it yet. The city approved the Rio Vista housing area on September 5th. Supposed to have 1,700 new homes and 500 acres go to the Quiche Nation, but I've heard rumors that there may be
Rumors.
be in that range.
There's been a
So,
lawsuit.
yeah, there's been a lawsuit to put that on hold. One thing I think we'll all enjoy is at the Vinola Center, the 85-degree bakery is opening middle of this month. So I'm looking forward to sampling that. The Tractor Supply is supposed to be opening in January. And of course, the Veterans Parade, which will be part of on November 9th. Unified School District said that school threats have been up nationwide and including a lot of them in Hooper Valley. Multiple arrests have been made. It's usually students and a lot of them have been hoaxes. But the sheriff's department's been responding to all of it and answering it. Sheriff's Department answered 5,800 calls last month, the majority being traffic accidents in the city. Riverview Community Services District is getting ready to go out for bid on their booster station at Golden West. They're also, if you live in their district, is going to be replacing all their meters with smart meters starting soon. I don't know why this stupid Siri stuff.
Siri's going crazy on.
Siri's going crazy on me. I don't know why. I didn't even ask for it. And starting in November, they're gonna be replacing all the street lights in their district with LEDs. They only expect that to last a couple weeks. I think they said they was gonna be happening really fast, and they're gonna also replacing all the lighting in all their fire stations with LEDs, so that'd be great. And if anybody's interested, the next interagency meeting will be November 15th, and it will be held at the Rudolph Community Services District. That's it for my report.
Thank you. Any future committee meetings?
Right now.
Agenda items for future board meetings? All right, we have our upcoming board meetings, October 24th and November 14th. And we will be heading into closed session.
Yes, Mr. President, need to know, we lost, Ms. Byrne.
I think so.
So,
Do you want me to try calling her?
Yeah.
we can try.
All right.
I'm going to stop our share since the, meeting has concluded and stop the live stream.
Do you mind if we take a quick?
Yeah, that'd be perfect while we
Yeah,
make the phone call.
fine.
I have a question.